This map's called the next heavy tank. That was a lucky shot though. That wasn't that great. I got spotted before I could get the final shot off, but I think the odds weren't in my favour that time. We'll have to do some proving grounds to get better at in survival, because I think that was terrible. I did blow the enemy's tracks off though. I'm waiting for my tank wreck to be towed back to my tank headquarters. I don't quite understand why. Oh, it's back. $8,737 more XP. I'm up to 31. Improve the main pass. Hopefully, if my tank loads in. There we go. So hopefully that upgrades the VK 30.01 HGA upgrade will improve the main turret, or the main top part of the tank, up to tier 5 VK 36.1. Yeah, VK 36.01 H tier 5, and then it increases the main barrel, the turret part of the tank, to tier 5, 10.5 centimeters, KW.K.L20 or /28. It upgrades the engine to a Mark 4, actually to a Mark 6. Mabosch HL 150. It doesn't affect the tracks because the tracks are already at tier 5. It increases the radio, the FUG 12. So spotting is up to 16%, up to 67. It does decrease the mobility by 1% down to 12, but it increases survival up to 3% to 34. Firepower increases it by 3%. It goes up to 24. So yeah, I'm up to 2,882 tank XP. It's the current tank I'm using, the VK 30.01H German tank, a heavy tank, tier 5. Well, on my way up to tier 6, which so once this upgrade is installed into my tank, hopefully improve chances of ricochets from enemy tanks when they shoot at me. This upgrade, it increases the turret from 10.5 centimeters up to 7.5 centimeters. So it does increase spotting. Actually, it doesn't really affect spotting range, but it does decrease firepower down by 1%, and you get 22. Survivability, affect that. Does affect mobility because it upgrade makes it go down 1, but makes it go up to 13. Not too bad actually. So yeah, it's quite a good piece of kit. Because when you win like tank XP in battle, it shows that sort of platinum silver star in the in this corner here. Because this is what my tank looked like before, without the upgrades. So it had a short. The accuracy is not that great, but when I upgrade onto it, the barrel gets it actually gets surprisingly longer, so better accuracy. The barrel gets thinner on that upgrade. The tank does get slower, but the accuracy gets a bit better. Good, I unlocked a few awards. Okay. So the armor is quite good actually, surprisingly. So pretty much very clever, because this is quite like medium armor at the side of the tracks. I zoom in with my dual shock. Wearing a bit of my controller from PS4 controller. Basically shows the overall 15 to 60 millimeters of armor. Basically shows all the armor. You alright?
Is it cereal?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Okay, cereal and coffee. You're normal?
Yeah, we're normal.
Alright, it's 1 o'clock, so in the
cool.
next hour or so when you're hungry, come on out and grab some lunch, alright?
Ah, cool. So this part is the top of the turret and the inside part of the turret. Behind the turret, sort of shell part of it. 15 millimeters of armor. The gun, main turret part of the tank, turret surface about 20 millimeters, and the belly of the tank is 20 millimeters of armor. It's the thickness of it. And the tracks and the side of the tank. So that fin shows highlighted areas of the tank. It's about 25 millimeters of armor. It's the thickness of it. And this part of the enemy tank is 30 millimeters of armor thickness. And that's like half the turret behind the cheek of the tank. And then the underbelly of the tank, about 35 millimeters of armor thickness, plus the top or middle lower part of the tank, 35 millimeters of armor, and the underneath the back side part of the tank, or backwards part of the tank, and the middle, in the middle part of the body of the tank, between the two of the tractor pillar tracks, there's 50 millimeters of armor thickness. So is everything in light blue, and pointy bits of the tank there, 60 millimeters of front sort of facing armor. That's it. So when I show the overall, it shows all of the tank's health. Because some enemy tanks try to hit the cupola, where the hatch is at the top of the tank, and that's considered as a weak point of the tank, because it's only got, here we go, so a little round part here. If I show you with the camera, no, yeah, it's little cupola bit right there. It's the weak point, the tank I'm using. Yeah. So it's good to show the strong parts of the tank, so the tank, you can make like the tank work for you for when you're like in a tight spot. Because the clever thing about this tank is it will probably let you down some of the time, because the enemy will find the weakness and they'll completely wreck the tank. Sometimes the enemy like uses their weakness against me, and then that's how I fall in battle. So these are all the modules, or the moving parts of the tank, or the soul part of the tank. So this is the horsepower of the tank, is what drives it. It's got 375 horsepower. It does have a very thin chance of catching on fire, about 20%. Seems quite low. Just under, or just a little bit over 10%. The radio is about 11.39 HPT. Top forward speed is 35 kilometers. kph, yeah. Top reverse speed is 12 kph, or kilometers. The main armament of the tank, the turret, barrel part of the tank. It's 75 centimeter KW K40H43 turret for the German army. Its max range is 720 meters, max elevation, so you can make the turret go up or down to increase velocity, and the max dispersion is 8 DEG. The reload time is 4 to 30 seconds. Aiming time about 2 to 30 seconds. Accuracy at 100 meters, 41 meters. Accuracy on the move when the tank's moving, 3.16 meters. Accuracy on the rotation of the tank's turret, 2 to 41 meters. Yeah. Move on to the tractor pillar tracks. Terrain resistance 1 hash, 1.1 hash 2.3. The rotation speed of the tractor pillar tracks are highlighted in white, or light silk grey, and a grey colour. VK 30.01 H. I'm quite sure what the name of the tank is, because it's quite hard to pronounce in German language. So I didn't actually learn German at school or college, so I sort of learn off bits of scraps of languages as I go through within my life, really. So this sort of block part of the tank where the cupola is and the view camera where it shows where the pilot is watching or looking out from. The other thing about my controls, I can zoom out that far. So look at something in detail, you can just like zoom it forwards that far. And like adjust the focus. So this view range 330 meters. Rotation speed 42 degrees. And the radio, which is that little cardboard box shapes on the side of the it's next to below the turret. A max spotting range is 51. View range, the signal range is 415 meters. FUG7, that's the model of the radio. And this is near the engine bay of the tank. It's where the ammo magazines are kept. So the heavy enemy or the heavy German tank I'm using, so it has at its disposal is what arms at the tank. It's what it can throw back at the enemy. Tanks that you confront in the game. It has up to 40 armor piercing rounds, each dealing damage up to 83 to 138 damage on the enemy. They can inflict on the enemy tanks. Penetration 77 to 129 meters of penetration depth within the enemy tank's armor, and the shell velocity once the my tank has fired one round, it's 740 meters in seconds per second. And the other rounds I've got, the SPR and GR 18 rounds, get about 10 of them in a clump or lined up together in the engine bay. The damage is 131 to 219, which is actually more damage than the armor piercing shells that you see at the top right or left hand corner. The penetration 29 to 48 millimeters. The splash radius once it plummets into the ground. It's 1 to 1.06 meters. It's quite a low amount of splash radius, but if it's fire at the shell and it manages to penetrate an enemy tank on the move, that'd be a very extremely lucky shot. And if it cause the enemy tank to have an engine fire and it brings its health down, it'd be a one shot, and I can KO him hopefully, because the best thing about keeping this tank rolling is you can actually put the turret into a lock position on the enemy tank's turret, so you can stop him firing at you, so then you can like literally poke your turret in the under part of the tank's turret, and it'll be able to melt bullet holes in it very easily. The shell velocity, yeah, if we demonstrate it, it's the same as the armor piercing shells, 740 millimeters a second. Move up to the crew which operate the tank. As it causes Oscars, Franz Hollow. Holiday, I mean. So he's ranked 1 to 17 in the tank. Ministry, he's up to 82% promotion level. So if a shell hits the cupola part of the tank, then it will actually stun one of my crew members in my tank. It'd be a very extremely lucky shot, but having camouflage in the tank actually improves your tank survival extremely. It's a magnificent machine, isn't it? Not much for this tank's armour is sloped, it's very straight, so it will get badly shot up in battle. But once I defeat a lot more enemy tanks, then collecting all these upgrades will be a piece of cake. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 more upgrades before this tank is maxed out to its maximum. So we upgrades are at max. Yeah, I have to unlock the previous upgrade to unlock this one. So firepower and survivability both be at 34%. mobility 13, councilman 33, spotting range up to increased by 16% up to 67. So all in all, needs 62,260 silver for that one, and it's only 61,640 silver. Then the one after that, 87,260 silver. And the one just after that, 52,560. Yeah. And then it goes up, and then I level up to the tier 6s, which is the have a look, see, because if I want to purchase this tank, I need 915,000 silver, which is expensive. This is a VK3002M German tank. It says it has no data available. So survivability, I want to go with this tank. It's got some good armour. $80mm of armour. This goes up to 85 on that part of the tank. So survivability. So that's only 27. That's up to 32. So if you want to a tank that hits hard at the enemy, you probably need this beast, the 6 classic and 1 prototype of this vehicle were produced at the beginning of 1942. It never saw a mass production due to problems with development of the contractual gun, critical gun. So the armour's very good on this tank. To get a ton of silver to save up, but once I've got silver, it's all good really. Can make the radio be upgraded, so that gets upgraded. Can upgrade to Tiger 1. This is the Tiger 1. So it's got awesome armour. But once upgraded, it's even more meaner. This is the Tiger 2. The armour thickness has been improved on the circumference level. Let's enter in the E45, 75. C75, it's a good tank to have in your garage when you need it. All the way up to the 100. This is quite a good tank to have, because once you purchase it, it's at 183,010 silver. Once you upgrade with this, and it goes up to 34 or 340,000 silver and 64,800 tank XP. So it'll be up to the E100B. I think having the mouse tank like this one is very good at dealing damage, apart from its slow mobility of 5, counterments 4, survivability is 100%. So basically, they actually took one of the turrets from an E100 and put it on this tank, or German tank chassis. Which is very good actually. Through this tank, I would win every battle. But it means navigating through the tech tree to get up to there. If I wanted to buy this tank, I need to get like probably a ton of XP to unlock it. this tank, tier 3. I think this is probably one of the World War I tanks, I think. It's a light tank, so I'm hoping so. I'm down to 14,960 silver. This is the upgrade menu. Need 269 more and I unlock this tank. It's a bit better armor. It's a tier 4. And it's this tank. It's a lot better. So after that tank I go for this one. And then move up to the Tiger P. And then this tank, can go for the Ferdinand. That tank. And I'll probably go for the VK100 .01p. It's a super heavy tank. So development of the mouse. So get improvedly a lot heavier. That's a tier 9 super heavy tank, and this is the finished product, the mouse. So I'm researching all the way up to the mouse. I am. So we've got a lot of tiers to get through before I get to the one I'm after. German light tank, MS1. And that tank in my garage. T2. have lunch once I've this level. Yeah.
I'll put your beds in them to wash now, alright?
Ah, cool, thanks. Be back shortly, guys.